This is Nancy Rolfsma from On Point TV and Quilting.